immigrants are helping create jobs in California. I mean, Tucker, you're trying to lay the problems and challenges.
I'm not. What I'm doing is asking. Hold on, no. What I'm asking for is an adult conversation, which is what you and others are trying. No, because you're not. You told me, you literally just stared to the camera like I'm some kind of moron and said it's the ag sector that's driving immigration to California. I know the numbers. That's not even untrue. It's ridiculous.
An intense battle on how to secure our border with Mexico playing out across the country this week. My panel is here and ready to battle it out as well. Fox News contributors Sarah Carter and former Obama campaign foreign policy advisor David Tafuri join me now. All right, guys, you just saw that. And you know what, Sarah, I'm going to start with you because I know you spent some time on the border. So Tucker's guest there is saying basically the whole problem with the border is that the ag sector is dragging the illegals across the border for jobs, and the Americans, I've heard this one before, need drugs, so we're kind of bringing them over ourselves.
Oh, that's just completely a joke. That's false on its face. I mean, of course, there is this supply and demand for narcotics, and that's a problem that we have to deal with in our country. And of course, there is cheap agriculture, but let's be honest, the border has been a problem for decades. And more than that, it's not just a problem about people crossing the border. It's a national security issue for our country now. It has been extremely dangerous. Part of the problem is there's not enough Border Patrol agents. Their hands were tied behind their backs for the last 8 years. They were out there on the border. I can tell you, Judge, because I was out there with them, I would see troves of people coming into this country, not just from Mexico and Honduras and Central America, from China, from Pakistan, from India, from Somalia.
So how do we stop this? What do we need?
We really need an overall policy that not only targets employers. I mean, look, if you're going to hire illegals, you should be penalized for it. But we need a border wall, too, to protect us.
Well, so the number of people coming across the border has actually steadily declined over the last 10 years.
Except for last month.
Except for last month, exactly. It's still a problem, but it's actually gotten better.
It still needs to be.
Well, if you look at the numbers, it is better, but it still needs to be addressed. Now, I think that means we need more border security, perhaps something like a wall, also using technology and surveillance and more border patrol. But what President Trump has done this week are just stopgap measures that are going to mask the problem. So he's sending the National Guard to the border. That's really not what their role is. These are fighters that are trained to fight battles, not to
National Guard?
and not go and patrol the border. It's not really their role.
You know what? Why not use them? Go ahead.
Yeah, why not? Because, look, it's been done before. President Bush used the National Guard. He had 6,500. Obama used the National Guard. He had 1,300 on the border at one point in time.
All right. So other presidents have used National Guard. Okay. President Trump is doing it because in this ridiculous omnibus bill, they wouldn't allow him to use any money to build a wall. So what should the man do?
It's okay to use the National Guard, but it's not the preferred solution. Now, there's a failure of leadership when President Trump can't get his border security package through Congress, and it's a Republican-controlled Congress. Both the House and Senate are controlled by people in his party. Now, there was a compromise that he put forward that he could have pushed through if he maintained support for that compromise and if he got Congress members on his side. And that is to do something for DACA,
to
do something for DACA.
He
and
offered 181.
But then he pulled it back. So do something for DACA and also do something on border security.
Judge Jeanine has a point here, you know. And I want to go back to something that I think is essential here. The president realizes, because he has been advised by both our intelligence agencies, the DEA, law enforcement, how dangerous that border is and how dangerous the situation is right now in Central America and Mexico.
We know it's dangerous, but he's saying that the president isn't doing the right thing.
No, the president has to do something, and this is what he needs to do. He needs to make this a very poignant moment where he says, I'm going to put the National Guard out there.
So
we're going to get that.
So you're blaming the president because Congress wouldn't give him what he wanted.
No, because the president wasn't creative and effective enough to push through a compromise.
The number of DACA dreamers.
But then he pulled that back, and he didn't support it because he wanted to have $26 billion. He wanted to have $26 billion for border security. Now, I don't know if that's the right number or not, but Congress, a Republican-controlled Congress, did not support that number. So he should have backed off that number. He should have reached a compromise, less money,
the left did not want to compromise
some
on
wall, some security. security. That's how you deal with this. You don't send the National Guard, whose job it is to protect America and fight wars, down to the border.
Well, it is a war. I got news for you, David. It is a war.
These drug cartels.
It's not a war. There's a war in Syria. There's a war in Iraq. There's a war with ISIS. This is not a war.
1,000 people die a week from drugs, and 80%, 90% is coming from the southern border.
And the battles between the drug cartels, very good point, the battles in the drug cartels battles along our U.S.-Mexico border, the amount of drugs and narcotics and other contraband coming into the United States.
We know it's bad. So he's blaming the president. What we're trying to figure out is, did Obama do anything that improved the situation, or did he make it worse?
Well, Obama also failed to push through an immigration package. Now, at the beginning of Obama's presidency, he also had a Democratic-controlled Congress. So you can criticize him for not being able to work with members of his party to push through something. But Republicans did not support any package at all on immigration. Obama also had to use, as Sarah mentioned, Obama also had to use the National Guard.
Gang of 8. You're wrong about that. There was a gang of 8 that had a compromise. So you're wrong about that. But go ahead.
But the Republicans blocked that. Republicans in Congress blocked that gang of 8.
Under the Bush administration, they could not find a resolution to the border. So the most important thing for President Trump to do right now, the greatest thing that he could do right now, is find a resolution to that border. Look, these drug cartels, they are terrorists.
What is the resolution is what I'm asking you guys.
Well, there is going to have to be a resolution to this border.
We know that, but what is the resolution?
It's more border security officials, people who are trained and it's their job to protect the border.
He's sending the National Guard.
Which is part of the resolution.
It can be a wall if that's what he wants, but we have to use the money efficiently to build a wall that works, and also using technology and surveillance.
David, they won't let him use the money for the wall. It's in the bill.
No, they didn't give him. They didn't give him all the money he wanted.
It's in the bill. He can't use any of the money for the wall.
Because he didn't reach a compromise on DACA and the other things that he also has to solve.
He offered triple the number of dreamers that Obama did.
So why didn't they take that?
Because
why didn't they take that
issue
offer,
for
David?
2018.
Because he didn't get Republicans or Democrats on the left and on the right to support him. And because he changes his policy on immigration every week. Next week it'll be something completely different. This president cannot stick with a policy.
You got 10 seconds.
I'm going to tell you you're wrong, David. I guess we're having a good debate here. Look, I think there will be something coming out of this, and I think he's doing the right thing by checkmating everyone, putting the National Guard on the border, and making a statement here, and he has some time to get it resolved.
Sarah Carter, David Tafuri, thanks for this very civilized debate. And former Clinton advisor Dick Morris is still ahead. And next, the boss is here. Former Trump deputy campaign manager David Bossie is here, and he intends to break down the most outrageous things we heard this week. Joe Scarborough, Ellen, you'll see them all. You don't want to miss this segment. Next.